So before starting this channel, I actually wasn't a huge comic book reader. I kind of got into it a lot later. I actually started reading comics in college, 2013, 2012-ish area. Yeah, I only kind of got into it because I had a roommate who read a ton of comics. And then after I left out of there, I didn't really read a ton of comics after that. And then I started this channel and I figured doing voice dubs of comic books was a pretty simple way for me to start get into voice acting, because it was a good way for me to practice, a good way for me to invent characters in my brain, a good way for me to learn how to emote, a good way for a lot of things, you know, for me to find new voices and all types of stuff. So I just thought it was pretty cool. And all I had to really do is just learn how to take existing stories and then sort of bring it to life. And so what I found while doing this channel was that there's a lot of really cool comics out there. So during my time of doing this channel, I found some I don't want to say lesser known comics, but I found some comics that I really enjoyed that I want to share with you guys. So let's get started here. So the first comic I want to talk about is a comic called They're Not Like Us. So this is an interesting comic, a very mature comic. It follows a lot of mature themes, is what I mean by that. So the plot of this is that there are people with special powers that just exist in this world. It's not like a super known fact, but it's a thing that exists within this world. So there are people with varying levels of telepathy. That's the main power that everyone has. Well, not everyone, but a chosen small section of people in the society. And these people try to stay under the radar, and they try to work in the shadows. Okay, that's the setup. All right, so our comic follows a character who goes by Sid. Her name is not Sid, but she changes her name to Sid later on in the comic. So I'm just gonna call her Sid. So it follows our character Sid. She wants to end her life. It opens up with that. She's standing on top of a building. She's ready to jump and just end it all. She's ready to jump, and the reason why she's so sad is because she grew up in a household that just thought she was crazy. They basically sent her to a therapist's office and have her take medicine all the time to calm the voices that she hears in her mind. So she just feels really fed up with it, and she's just ready to end it all. So she's standing on top of a building, she's ready to jump, and then this guy shows up and he's like, hey, look, if you wanted to kill yourself, you would have done it. You wouldn't have made this whole theatrical thing about it. And she's like, whatever, you don't know me. And so she jumps, she falls down, she wakes up in the hospital, and then the guy with the black hair, I'll pop his name up, I can't seem to remember it, but he shows up at the hospital and he's like, hey, I'm gonna help you escape. Follow my lead. Somebody's shoveling the snow right there. And I feel like this was my best take. So I'm just gonna roll through it. So yeah, I'm gonna help you escape. Follow my lead. So he helps her escape, and then they go to this house that he has where he has a bunch of other people with special powers just like her. So she finally feels like she's not alone. She meets all these people. They all have varying levels of telepathy. She finally feels at home. She's finally happy. She finally doesn't want to kill herself. And so she gets invited to join this new society. And in order for her to join the society, she needs to give up something very precious about her old life. And so it goes into what that really means.
As rules go, they're really very simple. No one we invite into our group has tattoos, piercings, or strangely colored hair. Nothing that would make us easily identifiable. We strive to be immaculately dressed at all times. Which reminds me, we need to take you shopping tomorrow. Because for better or for worse, well-dressed people are seldom the objects of suspicion. And most importantly, we do not use phones or computers of any kind, lest we are tracked, traced, or worse, somehow connected to our past lives. We hide in plain sight, and it works. Majestically. Everyone else can fuck the fuck off.
Wow. You've really thought this through. But what about your families? Like, I can call myself Sid and ditch the phone and all that, but they're still going to know who I am. Or is that not a problem?
Oh, it absolutely is. That's why you're going to kill them.
So it follows if Sid's going to do this really dark thing to get this new life where she finally feels at home. So will she give up? Will she go down a dark path to finally feel like she belongs? That's like what it follows for the most part. And it's about her character growth. It's about her living in this world of these people. It's about how she changes from being there. It's about her gaining control of her powers. It's about how these people operate. And it's just an interesting read all around. But like I said, it has a lot of mature themes. So it has sex in it. It has talk of suicide. It has drug use. A lot of swearing, a lot of violence. So very, very mature comic for sure. But I think that is an interesting read for anybody who wants to read something different when it comes to the comic book genre. So the next comic I want to talk about is a comic called Birthright. So Birthright, this one takes a little bit to sort of set up. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time setting the groundwork. But after everything is set, then it just goes and it's like really interesting. It's a roller coaster ride all the way through. But yeah, so this comic is like, it's like a big bowl of World of Warcraft and the big bowl of Lord of the Rings thrown into a bowl with a sprinkle of Lion in which to wardrobe. That's kind of the only way I can explain that, because there's like a fantasy medieval world, and then there's like a human world that everybody lives in. And so the way this works is, so the way things go is there's a mom, a dad, and then two sons. So the mom name is Wendy, the dad's name is Aaron, the oldest son name is Brennan, and the youngest son name is Mikey. So it opens up with It opens up with Aaron and Mikey playing catch in the middle of a big open field next to some woods. And Aaron throws the ball that flies into the woods. Mikey goes out to chase it. And then Aaron's like, hey, hold on. It might be dangerous, whatever. And then he gets a phone call from his wife. He picks up the phone. He answers. He gets distracted. He's talking to his wife. His wife and Brennan is also setting up for a birthday party for Mikey, and it's like his big day. And then the dad realizes, hold on, Mikey's been gone for a long time. So he runs out into the forest and he looks for his son. He can't find him. He's running around yelling his name. So it's like that scene from Heavy Rain where he's just calling out to him and he can't find him. And then his wife freaks out, obviously. And then so the family gets the authorities involved. The authorities go and look for the son. They can't find him, so they just assume he's dead. And then eventually the media gets a hold of this story and they starts to blame the dad for losing this kid. He's like, I didn't do anything. The media assumes that he killed his son and he threw him into the forest or something like that. And so he's like, I didn't do anything to my son. I love my son, blah, blah, blah. And then, the wife doesn't really want to blame the dad at first, but she ends up blaming him. And then they end up getting a divorce. And so after about a year of everybody blaming him for losing his kid, he becomes really depressed. He becomes an alcoholic. I think he even loses his job. He just becomes like a really sad dude who drinks a lot now. It affects the son too. The son is getting like fights at school and all this sort of stuff. So yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's a year's passed, and this dude shows up at a police station, and he claims to be a dragon slayer, and he also claims to be Mikey. So here's the thing about that. Mikey was about 12 when he went missing. It's been 1 year, and so he should be like 13, right? But this dude who shows up who claims to be Mikey is like 30. He's like huge, built with huge muscles, big old burly beard. He's a big man, really big dude, but he claims to be Mikey. So And so the dad automatically assumes this is Mikey. He's like, I didn't do anything to my son. See, that's him. But the mom is like, nah, that ain't him. This dude probably killed Mikey. And so there's a big disagreement about that. That's our son, Mikey.
What? What are you talking about? That's...
How can you not see?
How dare you? You will look for any excuse to cover your ass, you bastard!
Your father knows. It's him. It later reveals that it is Mikey, and that he, when he ran into the forest, he somehow got transported to this other world where he was summoned there because he is destined to save that world. And he's told if he saves this world, he'll be able to go back home to his world and see his parents and stuff. So he gets transported back to his world at this point in the comic, where he claims that there's a big danger that's in planet Earth that he has to stop. And obviously nobody believes him because he sounds like a crazy person. So he's been detained. And then so what happens is that Brennan ends up going in there. He's talking to Mikey. Mikey seems a bit weird. Like, in addition to being a 30-year-old man in 1 year, he's weird. It's just something really off about him. And you can't quite put your finger on it. But Mikey does end up convincing him that he is Mikey. And so Brennan actually helps him escape, really by accident, but he helps him escape. And then they run off to go save the world from this huge danger that Mikey says exists in this world. So the setup for the plot's very like RPG sort of. Like it's like an RPG game where it's like do this, do this, do this, and then the world's saved. That's the setup. But I feel like it's just a simple premise for an interesting, more complex story. Along the way, Brendan starts to realize Mikey's kind of weird. Like there's something really weird about him. It might, like, even if this is Mikey, he's not completely honest right now. So there's just something about that where Brendan starts to doubt him. And in the background, there's like an investigation going on where they're trying to figure out what happened to this guy. And they're reading like all of his texts that he brought with him, like his diary and stuff. And they're like investigating his weapons. Like they're trying to figure out if this guy's legit. And then there's also a story where they're going over the backstory of Mikey. So it's just like it's exploring his time as this kid growing up in this world, and then it's just a lot going on in the background. So it's really interesting. I highly recommend it. I think this was actually my favorite comic that I've read since I started doing this channel. I actually wanted to do a dub of it, but I thought it was a little bit too big for right now, so I never dubbed it and stuff. But it's really freaking legit. I love it. And I'd recommend it to anybody. So yeah.
There are 5 malicious and great mages here on Earth. If I do not find them and return them to Terreno soon, the door to the 2 worlds will be open forever. We have to close those paths. But I cannot do it alone. I've been gone too long. The tools I brought won't be enough. However, you and I together...
Whoa, slow down. Tools? Are you talking about that fat bag of weapons?
You've seen them.
Yeah, Officer Brooks just showed me with Mom and Dad.
Mom and Dad are here? Where?
Well...
They're here.
I don't like
tell me?
where this is.
I'm getting your son out of there. It is my wish that you help me escape. But, even if you don't, I'm done explaining myself!
Brennan!
Jesus Christ! Don't!
Ugh! Mom, Dad, your weapons are down the hall, in the lockup, son.
Aaron!
Thanks, Dad!
So this one is called Quantum and Woody. This one is really freaking hilarious. This one is written like a buddy cop comedy. Now, it's not a buddy cop comedy. It's about 2 superhero brothers who are polar opposites. So one is like a really uptight citizen by the books. I'm a very successful man. I got a career and an image to think about sort of guy. Then the other guy's a super cool, chill dude, just like whatever, like Spike Spiegel, just real chill. I'm like, I don't even care, dude. Ladies man, always, real chill. So he's like a really chill, like ladies man and stuff. So it's about these 2 brothers. They get superpowers through some sort of laboratory accident, and then they become superheroes. They get named. Well, the name on the comic is Worst Superhero Group or something like that. But yeah, they become superheroes, and it just follows their shenanigans as they're trying to save the day from crime. And it's really funny. It's well written. The art style is pretty funny. The dialogue's really funny and realistic. It's just a really good freaking read. So I'd highly recommend it to anybody who wants to read it.
Okay, we surrender. See, this isn't what it looks like.
Don't listen to him.
This is exactly what it looks like. This crazy black man is a Muslim fundamentalist who tried to blow up our godless white science. He did one of those Xena war cries, then declared war on Christmas.
You unbelievable son of a... If you get me killed, I'm absolutely taking you with me.
Did you hear that? This bomber's suicidal, and you do not want to know where he's hiding some dynamite.
You think I'm taking the fall for you still? You got another thing coming. I'm a grown-ass man now.
Well, you got the grown ass part right.
Sorry, Woody, but unless you picked up some new moves... Okay, that's definitely a new move.
Jesus, Woody, your arm! What the hell? Don't know, don't care. In case you didn't notice, they're shooting at us. You blew up that cop car. And of course, that's my fault.
Yes, it is. And if you had any... It's official. I wish that explosion killed me.
I'm actually really surprised with like Hollywood's super like obsession with making comic books and, you know, nostalgic things into movies that nobody ever attempted this one, because this was really funny. It's like perfect for some sort of adaptation like that. It's just really funny. But yeah, this is I think this video is going on for long enough, so I think I'm just gonna end it here. Obviously there's more, but if you want to hear more, just let me know and I'll make another video like this, I guess. But yeah, enjoy your day. Goodbye.